Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to this very, very exciting preview. I'm excited. I thought we will start off. We've got two very special guests here tonight. We've got Thomas and Benedict. How are we
Oh, wow.
doing?
Hello.
Oh, very well, very well. Happy to be here once more.
Oh,
Yeah,
brilliant.
I'm good.
Good, good. And Matt, you are going to be our driver tonight.
I
How
am
are
your
you?
driver tonight. Be afraid.
Be very afraid. Be very afraid.
Hopefully you
No,
didn't
there
want
we
that
go.
87 back in one piece, right?
Well, yeah, it would be good. don't break it too much.
Ah, it's too late.
Why
Too
not?
late. I never promised that.
Oh dear. Someone's already said you're going to be late already, so that's a good start. So yes, for those who aren't aware, we are streaming tonight. West Coast Mainline Preston Carlisle, so which is going to be very exciting. It's looking awesome from what I've seen so far. Also, for those who haven't aware, there has been a date change to the release. So West Coast Mainline Preston Carlisle will now come out on the 26th of November. So yes, make sure you're ready for that day. It's going to be very exciting. So yes, I think with that, shall we get started?
Think we
Let's
should.
get started.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's what the people have come for.
That's what I have.
So, just trying to think. Right, okay. Let me do the usual thing we do with when we're doing a route is we have a quick rundown of what there is to see. We'll come back to timetable. Scenarios. Do one of you just want to give us a quick overview of the scenarios?
Yeah, so the route comes with 5 scenarios for the route, ranging across various bits of traction. Will come with the pack. You've got one which is called Broken Down, which broken down obviously. What could that be? Rescuing a broken down Class 87 set. Involves a bit of cold starting with a Class 47 first of all, and then you make your way down and you go and find the broken down train. Rescue it, bring it back, get the passengers where they need to be, and then you will then take the broken down stock, or the loco shall I say, back onto Kingmore Shed. We've also got first generation stopper, which is a Class 101 stopping service, which sees you run part of a Leeds Morecombe service via Lancaster and then back again, so you do a there and back shuttle on that one. We've got Southbound Liner, which is a Freightliner service, basically a nice long heavy container train with a number of looping tappings along the way to let higher priority trains get past. You've also got Tap Changer, which is a wintry, a full winter's sort of near Christmas night scenario. It's a challenge. It's a passenger service, and yeah, be aware it's quite a slippy run, that one. So you definitely do want to be quite cautious with your tap changing on that one. And then we have also Kuruk Collection, which is a basically you take your the broken wagons down to the works at Kuruk from Carlisle down at North Yard. So you go and find them, take them down, and then you come back with a fresh rake of wagons that have been freshly repaired back down to the yard at just north of Kingmore. All nice long scenarios to keep you busy.
Yeah, there you go. There's your scenarios. Training
We
modules
can't
route
see the
introduction.
game.
Go on, sorry, Jamie.
We can't see the game, Matt.
You can't see the game.
He's
Oh.
just teasing everyone.
I was just
Keep
teasing
talking
everybody.
himself.
Here you go. Look, these are the
There
scenarios.
we
This is
go.
what I've been waiting. This is what I've been sitting there hovering over all of these. Have been going on really professionally, and yeah. So yeah, these are the scenarios that you can see, and then we've got under the training modules. Just got the route introduction. Although there are training modules in training centre for the trains themselves,
There is, yeah.
as usual. But under timetable, now I've got everything installed, all DLC installed, which means I've got all the layers. So again, maybe Tom, do you want to take us, or Benedict, do you want to take us through what there is roughly in the timetable?
So pretty much you've got the bulk of the trains which are come with a route. So you've got the 87, the 101, the 08, and the 47, all forming a basis of the core services. But then layered in and substituted, you have the other diesel locos from other routes, like you have the 40, the 45, the 37, the 31, and the Class 20 also does a rail tour. But also with almost all of the 101 diagrams, if it's a 2-car diagram, it can also be substituted with the Pacer. A lot of driving with the Pacer, from our Blackpool branches route, you can also do.
Cool. And then we got a couple of steam rail tours here as well, by the looks of it.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, what are we doing first? We're doing 1 Papa 02 first on the 87. What livery am I driving? Blue.
Up to you.
Blue is what it says in my
Blue.
instructions, so I want to follow my instructions.
Yeah, we'll go with blue.
1P. Oh, if I could type this would be great. 1P02. We're going to run the entirety of this service. So July, and we'll leave it on clouds off. Is that what it says, roughly? Yeah, good.
Yeah, daytime.
That's what I went with, yeah.
Daytime.
Right, I'm going to do that in drive. Yes, conductor mode supported. Oh yeah, someone said we should have showed the layer filter screen. Jamie, remind me to do that when we're done.
Layer filter screen. Okay, I will put that in the.
I need to learn that because I don't even have to turn that on and off.
And just as a note for people, because I know some people are a bit worried, with most stock, like if it, for example, requires one wagon from one route and all that kind of stuff, you will see the trains related to that route. The only one you don't is with the trip working at Carlisle, because it requires multiple moves, and it would be a nightmare trying to sort that out otherwise. And we want it to be as realistic as possible. So the trip workings will pretty much require most of the DLC, which we've listed in the layer requirements.
Right, let me just work out why I'm not getting any audio. Windows has decided it knows best. Yes, it has indeed decided it knows best.
We definitely want the audio.
There you go. There we got audio. Cool. Right, I will adjust the audio as we go once we get moving. Right, all right. Let's key in. Oh, key in. Put it in forward. Get the doors open. Let's have a look around out on the outside. Oh yeah, there's the louds.
Oh, got Robert Burns.
Well, this is quite an interesting one because Robert Burns actually is the locomotive that we used as research reference.
That was not intentional.
It wasn't intentional. No, it's.
It was. It's all planned.
It was. We were quite lucky to have a visit down to the Heritage Centre at Crewe. So a number of the team went down there and got masses of photos. There were some bits and pieces that I think were recorded there at the time as well. Yeah, just all around really, really helpful. Also, Jake Baver and massive help as well.
Yeah, and our loco artist also went round there in a separate visit just to get tons of photos. Absolute tons.
It's a nice, unusual set as well. That I love how the fact that you've got like all modern Mark IIIs and there's just a Mark 1 at the back.
It is a modified Mark 1. No, I definitely wouldn't want to be in the Mark 1 going 110 though. I'm straight up honest.
Yeah, this is the all new NHA that comes as well, which is on the back.
Yeah. Buffet car as well. Lovely.
Hello, someone will be pleased.
Yes, we all know.
Yes,
someone
no,
will be
I know
pleased.
who's pleased. Yep.
The
That means I don't need to do one. Excellent.
The Preston itself generally hasn't changed in terms since Blackpool branches. There was nothing to be done with it. It was just formed a perfect basis to start the route. The only uptick on it is obviously it has the route hopping capability, which if you have Blackpool branches, you can change between the two routes and go to the seaside if you wish to do so, or down to Ormskirk.
I think you might have forgot the change end switch, by the way.
Oh, probably.
That caught me out. That's caught me out.
Yes, you need to have the change end switch on to actually start moving with the locomotive. If you don't put that change end switch on, you're going nowhere, as we've just noticed.
Yeah.
As Paul Timon said, you'll be going nowhere.
You don't actually have to have the AWS on. You're not forced to have that on, but you have to have that change end switch on whichever end you are driving on.
Right.
DSD as well. If you want to have that on, you'd have to go and turn that on in the machine room, Matt. If you want to do that.
Oh, let's have a quick look at that actually. Yeah, well, before we get going, because you can get in here. And you have to notice you have to crouch to get in here as well.
Oh, it's so tight in there.
Look at that. It's amazing how many warning stickers they've got on all the cabinets.
That
I
should
know.
tell you something.
And this is where your fuses are down here.
These all work as well. They do actually do things. So have a play. Get yourself into some sticky situations.
Especially with isolating with traction motors. You know, by flipping up the cover and turning off a couple, you can give yourself a right challenge. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Don't do it in the snow with 2 motors though. You will not have a good time. I wasn't able to get any traction whatsoever.
What's this? I don't know what this is.
What is that?
I've never seen one of these
What is
before.
that?
They don't exist.
Oh,
That's washing your hands, right?
Is that the first one ever in the game?
could be. Have you turned on your DSD switch, Matt?
Where was it?
It's where the switches are. There's a little switch up in that panel somewhere. I think it's on the right side of that hatch.
Oh,
yeah, DVD. Yep.
That's the one.
There we go.
You get full points as well for that.
That's what I'm
There's
here
another
for.
cool little thing as well. Behind that door that was open, there is some tail lamps. You might find that if you happen to use one of them tail lamps on your loco, they might move. You might end up. They might disappear.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When you play with the lamp and they'll actually do both go eventually. So if you put one on each end, they'll be on in the cab.
Yeah, that's similar to the one of the 08s. I think had that functionality.
I think it's one of Ed's little features.
It is. It's definitely an Ed special. That.
And also Ed nicking our Bardic lamp is also an Ed special.
Let's get out of here.
It's rather disconcerting because I'm watching the stream on 2 different feeds. I'm watching it on Discord and I'm watching it on YouTube. Like, yeah, they're not in the same sync. I'll watch the one on Discord and actually know what's going on. So this is a all stopping service as well for those that are interested. We are going to be calling at Lancaster, Oxenholme, and then Penrith, and then on to Carlisle. The only one we won't be calling that on the way is Carnforth because the platforms at Carnforth are for the local services only. Used to be mainline platforms there, but they shut down in the I think the late steam era.
Yeah, it was before electrification. Cause
Yeah.
I've seen some cool pictures of it just after it was electrified.
Matt Val has asked, do we get random faults with the 87? Do we get random train faults, or will it be, or is that on certain scenarios and things like that?
We haven't got any random train faults per se. It's more, up to you really if you wanted to turn off a few things like the motors or that kind of thing. It's
That's
more
where
up
it'll
to
start
you.
getting interesting. Yeah, if you turn the motors off on certain ones, and if you go through a neutral section and don't obviously run down and then it's off at the right point, you will find that you will have to then obviously reset the motors as well. So you do get that as such. If you're not paying attention, you will get caught out.
It'll almost certainly happen at least 2 or 3 times on the stream.
The awkward one is coming out of Carlisle going northbound because that's literally as you're leaving on a 20-mile-an-hour on a up a hill. So you've really got to get on them taps to get the momentum.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
So we're straight away on the obviously new scenery all the way. Obviously Fowl Junction we've just gone through, which is where you would have gone left towards Blackpool on our previous route. So everything from here onwards is all
Someone's asking about
Try
the
and
notch
widen it
counter.
almost
this
to
is
the
what's
red
going
line,
on
I
with.
would say.
This is what's going on with the notches. That's the notch counter there, and then this is the ammeter, and you want to keep that out your head.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what's going on with it. So as I notch up, you can see the power going up. As it speeds up, so the power drops down, and then you can apply more, increase the notches again. And has this one got the thing whereby if you cut the power like I did just then, you have to wait for it to notch down before you can reapply?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you kill the power like I did earlier on, go into the off state, it will stop playing a power immediately, which will stop you overspeeding perhaps. But you have to wait for this thing to go all the way down to 0 before you can reapply.
And it's the same if you go for a neutral section whilst you've got taps applied. You'll have to then put it into run down or off to let it reset, and then you can get going again.
Get room. We've dropped a hammer.
Look at that.
But Ludwig Tales just asked as well where we got the reference for the Class 87 itself. So we had a trip down to the Heritage Centre in Crewe, where we got lots of photo reference of 87035. We had some other bits of recording done there as well, in terms of bits and pieces they could turn on for us. Obviously, it's not a live locomotive, but they were able to accommodate for bits and bobs like some compressed and stuff like that. Audio itself has come from Armstrong Powerhouse.
Cool, we've certainly got some speed on now.
Oh,
It's quite fun running it at 110.
Yeah, I know someone who's asked for a run past that.
Suspension is standard as well.
Yeah.
Five?
Yeah. I know one of it, so we've asked some questions in the forums, and one of the ones that was asked was what was the biggest challenges developing this route, and what was the process of building the 87 and the route? So obviously you mentioned about you got the access, but was there anything else that you wanted to mention?
In terms of the challenge in my side of things, so obviously my side of things is scenery, and Mark as well, who's not with us this evening. But one of the big challenges was because it's such a long route, you've got to obviously get a lot more in a reasonable death time. So we set ourselves quite a hefty target of about 2 miles a week of scenery to get down. I mean, luckily with this route as well, obviously a lot of it's countryside. You do obviously go to some busier areas such as Lancaster, Carlisle itself, a big area. Morecombe itself as well is quite a long rolling section of route. But yeah, 2 miles a week is quite a challenge. It's not one we've ever done before in such a huge amount. But, we did it. We got there with it. It seemed to have it sort of just flowed quite well once we got into the swing of things. I'm not sure if you got any what challenges for you, Benedict?
Well, so the main challenges with me, so I was generally, so I was pretty much 3 things in this route. I did a couple of stations, so I made Morecombe and I made Oxenholme. But the main things I was on was either the overhead line equipment, and also I was on the Timetable. So the Timetable, I think, is a nice evolution from the Timetable we had on Blackpool. In this Timetable, because it was a big question, we've set it in so this is a weekday timetable on the West Coast main line, whereas with Blackpool branches, the timetable was a summer Saturday to suit the it was used to suit more excursion traffic to Blackpool, increase the service frequency and all of that. So you've got some quite fun stuff really in the timetable, but it was an absolute nightmare getting some of the moves because you've got locos going off, going on. I mean, there's this one move, for example, which was quite challenging to get going, but I managed to get going, where you have one train come in from Manchester at Preston, then another one come in from Liverpool, then both locos go off of them trains, then an 08 connects to one, couples it up to the other set, and an 87 goes on the front and takes it towards Glasgow. And that was an absolute nightmare because you've got to deal with 4 locos all at once.
Wow.
Yeah, we had some similar challenges with the Diesel Legends timetable. It makes for some really fun stuff to sit and watch as well, actually, once you get it working.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to sit at the station. I mean, if people like just sitting at platforms and watching the trains do the thing all day, sitting at Preston or Carlisle is definitely a thing for you. There's just so much going on. And with
We
the
just
way
went
that
through
the
a neutral section there, didn't we?
Yeah,
You
we
did?
did, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I saw
I
the lights go off on the line.
Yeah, on, yeah.
Yeah, there's about 5. Is that 5 or so, Benedict?
So you've got one in between here. You've got one north of Lancaster, in between Lancaster and Carnforth. One near Oxenholme, one at T-Bay, one at Penrith, and one at Carlisle. So I think that's either 5 or 6.
I think I guessed that correctly. Yeah, I'm just going to say as well, I mean, with the way that the 87 set up, so if you obviously sat watching these trains go through wherever they are, not each drive's going to be the same. They're set on the randomisation as well, so each rate of Mark III's and the NHL will be a different livery each time. You might really be lucky to fully see a complete liveried rake. I'm yet to see one. I've not been lucky enough to see one yet, but it is possible.
It has such a low chance, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
We based it pretty much on looking at research of the error and everything, and to be honest, I didn't really ever see a Mark III rate that was full. Almost all of them were mixed and matched, and that's what I wanted to recreate. So for each coach, and also for the locomotive, there's a 50% chance of either one spawning, and so if you understand the how long are the rakes? Is it 11, 12 coaches?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and so the actual probability, I think I worked it out to be about, it was something like, I think it's 0.05% to get a full rake.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, to put that much amount of detail, I mean, that's quite crazy, because I noticed, because we had quite a few questions. I noticed one of the things was, someone had asked, your timetable's based on 1986. And I'm guessing that's the reason you wanted to choose that year is exactly like, that you had that change over a period and different liveries, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
Makes more interest as well. You never know what's going to appear, which makes it more fun as well. Every drive's going to be different. And again, with that randomisation as well, with the 87, those obviously spawn in randomly each time you pick one, so you'll get a randomised nameplate with its livery as well, so you'll always get something different there. And there's 34 them made nameplates for the side of the logo. I'm not sure if you were able to show the nameplate in a bit of detail there. That one should just run along.
Yeah, there is one 87 without a nameplate, just one, and I can't remember the number of it.
No, I
But
can't
yeah,
remember what it is.
But yeah, for people who want to know, the nameplates were made for us by Matthew Wilson, who has made multiple stuff for TSC, but he also made the nameplates for us for the 47 for Blackpool branches.
Yeah, he's done some for the 47s on this route as well, so there's a number of those as well, which we'll be able to go into a little bit of detail. I can find that shortly and go through that.
Yep. Just as a bit of a questionable way I've noticed on the forum, someone was asking, does the HST run in this route? So HSTs eventually ran on the West Coast Main Line, but they were pretty rare in our period. It was more around the 90s they started to kick on after the East Coast Main Line. Some of theirs were displaced by the 91s.
Oh, interesting. I thought that was. I'm learning something new. I didn't know. I thought the HSTs were always on the West Coast. That's something.
Sort of 1993, sort of around that time, they started making an appearance.
Yeah, it was around 92, I believe, when I was looking at things. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
There was a question, I've just seen it as well earlier on the chat regarding Pacer announcements. We haven't added any more announcements onto the Pacer currently. We do have, we are planning to do a bit of an update for Blackpool Branch at some point. There's no, it's not set in scope when we're doing it, but there will be some bits and bobs, as we've already mentioned, and there will be some updates in the timetable to get the 87 onto that as well.
Yeah, I really want to just have a bit of a revisit of the timetable now we've got the 87, as well as also implementing stuff like the new track shadows and that kind of thing. it's just a matter of just getting a chance to do it. And with us being quite hectic with getting this route done, we really wanted to, get this done first, and then we can easily revisit Blackpool down the line.
I've noticed quite a few people have mentioned about mastery and collectibles. Did you want to mention what you get?
Yeah, so collectibles have already been shown. So it's 5 collectibles. We've got route trolleys, which is a form of parcel trolley, so you have to play with the luggage, put them onto the trolley. We've got model castles. There is a few castles located around the route. They are visible in some areas on the route. We've got the usual route map, which everyone always likes to see a route map. What we got?
Mint cakes.
Mint cakes.
Yeah, we've got mint
Yes.
cakes. Yeah.
As the Cumbria is well known for a mint cake.
Yeah, and with Kendall being so close to Oxenholme, it made sense.
Yeah. There was another one as well.
Rail tour posters, wasn't it?
It was a rail tour posters.
That's
Yeah.
the one rail tour posters.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
6 variants of the posters, so they're not all the same. One when you go and find them.
Yeah. And what we've done with them is Martin made them for us and made them very old retro style. We gave him reference of multiple different kinds of posters, and he's a bit of a graphic whiz. He's the one who's done most of the adverts for our route and that kind of stuff on the on the route. And so we gave him some ones based on the rail, and he's pretty much made them based on the rail tours which we have on the route. So like you've got a rail tour you've got a poster for the Stone Scratcher, for example. Rail tour and that kind of stuff. It's really cool, and he's made like old school logos as well, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, I mean, because the West Coast Main Line had quite a few rail tours, and obviously this part of the route we actually go through Crewe Steamtown, which obviously in this sort of era was quite, there was a lot of rail tours around this area at the time,
Yeah, Carnforth there was, yeah.
Carnforth, yeah.
Yeah, so Carnforth itself is a nice little area to go and have a look around, which no doubt we'll be able to see it when we go past. Got the big famous old coal loading stage, which still stands today as well. That's there in its glory, and the sheds, and all that lot.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had to play around Steamtown, and you can go in there and put your locos down, and it's good.
We've got both platforms for the actual standard gauge track as well, because you've got one end which is on the south end of Carnforth, and one which is near a station, which is really quite cool.
We haven't actually got. There's nothing on the timetable for Steamtown. The way we've done it is we've left it open for players to have their own imagination, to make their own sort of like little open days. They can put a lot of trains in there, shuffle around, and very your own sort of up and down service and make your own scenes. There is a few wagons in some of the yards. It used to be not just obviously it was just Steamtown, but it was also a wagon storage area. So there was a few wagon rakes in a couple of the sidings as well.
Yeah.
Also, as a note, sorry. Also, one thing to note, as you're approaching Lancaster, Matt, watch out for the gradient. It catches you out because you think, oh, I'm at 15, I'm good. And no, the gradient is awful at Lancaster into it. Yeah, you'll start speeding in no time.
I found that out yesterday when I was having to play with this service, just having to make sure it was alright. And oh my god, we're doing 20 quite quickly.
Yeah, I see that 1.1%. Jeez.
Yeah, because also you've got the infamous Shap on here, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, which is a lot more of a challenge in something a bit more old school like this, especially on heavy trains. Like we've got a few Freightliners which are really quite heavy. Also,
because this is the first generation electric route, isn't it? It's first generation electrics.
It's
yeah. Really, first of its kind. It's really awesome to see, and just seeing that other train come in, that just it screams the 1980s, doesn't it? It's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is as well. It's the first UK electric locomotive. Am I right as well? For this era. Obviously, we've got multiple units in the game already, don't we? But
yeah, I think it's the first
locomotive.
Right,
yeah. You enjoying so far, Matt?
There as well.
I am. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, once you go get into Shap, it can be a bit of a nightmare keeping speed as well, trying to keep power and everything.
Well, there's loads going on. I've just seen a 101 there, another pacer over there. Cool.
Yeah,
There's all sorts. I mean, you've got 2 101 sets in front of us. One stabled in the holding side, but there's also one on nearest to the train, which actually part of the old line went to Lancaster Green Air, which once was also part of. It used to be an electric railway many years ago. If you've ever seen any pictures of the old electric units that used to run around there, they used to go to Morecombe via another line, which is now shut. I think it was part of the Little Northwestern as well. It used to join up with.
And
so-
I'm gonna look in these now. Look at that.
also of note, and it's something we didn't actually really mention, but depending on the livery of the coach, as you can see with Matt walking into this one, depends on the interior. So if it's intercity, it will have one interior, and I think this is the red one, and the other one will be the blue.
Yes.
And it's the same also with the first class coaches; they have different colours.
The only bit of difference in that doorway, you got that sort of well-known yellowy that yellow colour there. But when you go through the first restaurant car, you've got this coming up now. It's got this red cladding around the buffet area.
Look at that.
Thumbs down.
Oh, I'm guessing we can't get our beverages today.
Not today, no. They're on strike.
Yeah.
No BR sandwich for me.
No, I've been looking forward to a curly cheese sandwich.
That was quite good. One of the Halloween streams we kept mentioning about VR sandwiches, and that was the chat went absolutely hilarious. I thought it was brilliant.
Let's get back in the cab. Get on with it.
Yeah.
The long trek.
Long trek.
Long trek.
Yeah, I mean the Mark IIIs. I remember travelling them down on GA stuff, because they used to come down.
Oh, I miss them.
Yeah, I
Someone's
do.
just asked, Matt, could you close a door in the chat?
He's just
He
doing it
just
now.
did.
There we go.
Yeah, good old clang and bang.
Clunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a start out from outside, Matt, so you can see, like, starting off from outside?
Yeah. So the interesting thing with these locomotives, by the way, is the headlight only actually turns on when the reverser is in forward. It's a bit of a weird quirk. I don't know why they have it. They just do. So as you can see, with Matt just changing it there, it turns off and on with the master switch.
It never stayed like that forever, because when the 87s, I think, went into sort of the late City days and Virgin Trains days, that I don't think they actually had that light where it went like off.
I think it was when they got their proper high intensity. Yeah, with the newer style high intensity. Yeah.
Yeah. Another little cool quirk is if you enjoyed the Class 47s blasting the horn on AI departures, the 87 does this as well.
Yeah.
Another little cool quirk is that I only learnt this the other day when I was watching. I sat on the train, did a full triple to Carlisle just to get some screenshots for part of the manual the other day, and I sat and watched the front of the train, and I had no idea that when the AI takes over to start the service up, it'll turn the marker lights on as well, but it does one at a time, like you're switching one switch at a time, so it doesn't all come on at once. I was like, wow, I didn't even know what happened. So yeah, Ed's done some fantastic little bits and pieces. Yeah, on this.
The interesting thing as well is one thing which initially we were saying, oh, is this meant to be like this and everything to Ed, but is the fact that both cabs have a bit of a different audio signature. So in this cab, the fans are a bit quieter, and if I remember, the motors are a little bit louder, as well as you being able to have a clonk of the taps changing because the equipment is literally just behind you. Whereas in the other cab, the fans are a lot more pronounced. And I love having the window open, and because the fans rev up when you're rheostatic braking, and they really rev up, and I really like that.
Yeah, it's great. Especially if you put quite a lot of brake on they get louder.
Yeah.
Would we be able to be? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say the chat is looking like the chat is really enjoying it, loving the growl of the motors. People are loving the horn, which is great to see. But yeah, no.
Would we be able to open the window, by the way? So then when we get into Oxenholme, I'll be able to actually hear the fans rev up when we're coming in. You won't be able to hear it as well on this cab, but you still do hear it.
So yeah, next stop obviously Octonome, so that'll be, once we get sort of past Carnforth, that's where we start really starting to hit into the Lake District territory. North of Lancaster is the southern end of the South Lakes, but yeah, sort of Carnforth onwards, that's where you start noticing the change with the hills starting to come in into its own.
Pilgrim has asked, will we see Morecombe? Yes, we are doing the Morecombe Branch as well. Don't worry. We're doing a full line run first.
One's also asked if we've got time at the next stop, could they have a look in the NHA as well, Matt, if that's okay. Right, let's hear the announcements as well. If you click the phone, you go in there.
Oh yes, you are, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah. My announcements are back.
Brilliant.
Authentic, I think. Authentic to just trains, anyway.
Nope, if you just saw there, Matt just saw a neutral section warm board, and with that, he'll have to run down. So
About
then
a mile, aren't they, before the neutral
yeah, it's pretty much it's about exactly a mile roughly from
sway
Halfback.
as well. Look at that.
That signboard that we're talking about there is the blackboard on the posts on the side here, and then we're looking for a whiteboard. Is it next?
Yeah, it's a whiteboard. Yeah.
Yeah, whiteboard actually marks the actual beginning of the actual section, dead section itself. So I'm all powered down now.
Yeah.
And
so
technically, go on.
There it is.
If players look at the light when he goes through it,
on off. See the power go off.
so you see the lights
and the
go
power
off,
go on
and then
again.
go back on.
Okay. And now I can put.
I mean, you could
Drop the
Technically as well, the neutral section warning board, start boards, weren't actually there in our area of Campbell, but we've been kind. We've put them in because I think we might have probably got a bit of backlash where these neutral sections coming in. And people have
Yeah, it's one of them where because they initially got introduced on the East Coast Main Line with the East Coast Main Line electrification, but they were put on the West Coast Main Line, but it's been one of them where that would be very annoying otherwise, because you'll just get this massive jolt and you're like, what on earth was that?
Yeah, it's caught me out about 3 times. So I know about that quite well.
We've got past Hessbank, which is a nice little picturesque location on the route. Skirts, it's the only part of the route actually skirts the west coast. Even though it's West Coast Main Line, it's literally that very small split second you go past the Morecambe Bay, and then that's it, then you go back in again into land. It's actually a spawn point as well. When you obviously come to look in the map at where you'd like to spawn, not only can you spawn at normal stations, but you can actually spawn at some other locations along the map. It might be a little bit explorable as well. You might be able to go and visit a signal box, or have a look at maybe an old disused shed, which would be a good shed. There's a few bits and pieces, and the quarries as well. The quarry spawn point, if I'm correct. So.
Yeah, no, we've got. I mean, based on some of the feedback which we had from our last route, we've tried to make. Well, I think we've. How many signal boxes have we got explorable, Tom? Because I think we've got just three at Carnforth.
Let me count my fingers, because there's more than Blackpool.
Yeah.
So we've got Morecambe, which is just at the Morecambe station, Bear Lane, Hessbank, and then there is Carnforth Station Junction, I think it's called, and then also F&M Junction. And I think that's it. I think that is it. 5 explorables this time. You can see inside cell side, but you can't actually enter it. But the doors, it's interiors there, but it's not normal. So
I love zooming through.
Just like Steamtown on there we are. So that's 3 Carnforth, there we are.
Yeah, I love zooming through Carnforth at 110. It's great.
Nice watching the trains fly through there as well, especially if you start a stopping service and you have the manual train through you. Obviously, you have to wait for it to go through before you cross onto the main line. Just also crossed underneath the line, which will take you towards the Preston To Carlisle, the Preston Junction, which is to the right, goes over the top of the flyover. We're now sort of entering the lakeside Lake District. Mountainous sort of terrain will start coming in now, which you'll soon see. Quite apparent quite quickly.
There we are. There was a couple of other questions that we just had a look. I know you mentioned about, besides neutral sections applying too much power causing MCB trips, anything else go wrong with the 87? So I know you mentioned there wasn't any other faults, but you can turn off the traction motors, can't you?
You can turn off traction motors on various motors. So if you was to do that and driving, for example, maybe the rain or the snow, you'll find it might be quite challenging. So you can obviously you can cause yourself some self-inflicted headaches. You have to really think about it, not putting too much power on. You have to really take your time to get the speed and let the train find itself. It's one of them locos. You've got to really think about it. It's not like your standard sort of your power brake handle. You just put it into forward and off you go. And you've got to think about where do you need to be with that with them taps. Where do you need to ease it back a bit, run it down. You need to sort of find that happy point and then not put too much power on. Let you just go over that speed limit. It'll take over quite quick.
And I mean, how long? And another thing is, I mean, this is quite a large route, isn't it? As well, it's 90 miles plus 10 miles of branch lines. Matt, is that the longest UK route? I think.
Yeah, it's the longest UK route.
Yeah. So that's quite an amazing. You know, someone had asked, how long did this route take, and did you experience from Blackpool branches help speed up did that help speed up the development process? You know?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, it took us. We were working this out earlier. I think somewhere around about 11 months it's taken us to sort of build it all to get it to completion before it went over to QA handover, fully proper into the vigorous testing. Having the Blackpool branches experience of obviously learning the tools and the process of that, and getting to scratch, getting up to speed, that really did help us with this one. Having that behind us, it really did get us going where we needed to be.
Yeah, no, definitely. But especially I mean, the thing is, from a modelling perspective, it's not necessarily as much of a pain, but then it's all the setup and everything as well. And once you've done one station setup, you then know, okay, this is how it's done, and then you get quicker at doing it and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of stuff which you maybe struggled with the first time, like why is rain falling inside and all that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, that's how that's done. We don't have a headache about it. Yeah,
we've not had to sort of ask as much, have we? We had the info back. So it was just sort of jogging our memory, doing things a year later again. But we sort of knew where these things were. We just thought I had to go and find them again. From building the trains in classic route, obviously it's a totally different ball game, which involves a lot more. Obviously, the tooling is a lot more powerful, so you have a lot more playability. You can do some really cool stuff with that. So definitely.
I know someone had asked about the Mark III's being in formation and livery design. Is it just those, or is there multiple that are in both as well?
You pretty much everything from a route is in both livery and formation designer. I mean, pretty much you can go wild to your heart's content with things, really. So you can make as long as a rake as you want for the 87. I mean, then isolate traction motors and make your life an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. The other thing as well with create your own liveries, I think, have we got it this time, Benedict, where we've actually got it where the nameplates don't spawn on your own liveries? Is that correct?
That should be the case.
I know that was a feedback thing we had.
Yeah, no, definitely, and it makes sense. Even more so with the 87, with you only getting the chance of a very small % chance of spawning one without a nameplate. Yeah.
Someone in the chat just said it's actually today's the 1 year birthday of Blackpool branches.
No, there we are.
I never realised that.
Did it release today? Did it?
Apparently so.
Wow.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Wow.
Well, that's a good way to celebrate it, isn't it?
We should have bought cake.
Yeah, we should have done. Yeah, with
honestly, totally never crossed my mind that. Well spotted. It was Tintin that spotted that. Just so you know, in the chat.
Yeah, Tintin is the West Coast Mainline Preston fan, isn't he?
He is. I've watched many of his videos on YouTube. It's been quite good to watch the excitement.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Yes. I'm just
The Mark 3s are Buckeye cutters, am I right, Benedict? They don't have the hook on these, do they?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't model them.
Oh, no, I think the Buckeye. I'm pretty certain it's Buckeye, yeah.
Yeah, we've also added a interesting thing. So we've got one diagram that actually propels out of Upperby sidings in the morning and propels into the station. And Ed ended up adding it. So rather than just a tail lamp like you usually would, he's also put a barding lamp on the back, so it will actually have a headlight. You know, when you propel it into the actual station. Because I thought a propelling move would be quite fun. So.
That's with the body on the. So if you look to the right hand side of the cab max, that type of lamp which you'll see on the back of the coaches. Yeah, that's the one. It hooks onto the back of the Mark 3 and it has its light on.
Yeah.
You can also put your own tail lamps and stuff on.
Yeah,
coaches. That was a question, I know.
Yeah, there was a question about tail lamps. I mean, there was one question this is someone obviously from the era of the route. For many of us, this will be a real blast from the past with memories from our childhood and younger years. Was it similar for yourselves when making this route?
I'm going to find me a response for this one because I remember the question somewhere. Whereabouts was the question?
Third page down.
Third page?
We did put answers in just in case it's.
It was the very last question. So what made it stick out? Well, the thing that makes it stick out really is the transition period between the VR Blue and Intercity.
Oh, it's not that one.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
it's not that one. It's the so you got the second.
I found it.
Yep.
I found it. Right. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. So yeah, it's again the same sort of thing really. It's the interest. We're not. I mean, I was born in the 80s. I'm
Nope.
early 90s myself. I think the same with you, Benedict. 90s.
Yeah, we're about the same age. Yeah.
Yeah. So even though we're 90s, the 80s is just such an interesting time. And
Oh, yeah.
there's so many interesting locomotives and stuff, and all your shuttle moves and stuff like that before the diesel multiple units sort of started taking over really. That's where the joy is, and also not just that, but learning as well. I mean, we've learned stuff along the way as well with this. We always learn. And when we do our research, we find all these bits and pieces out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some interesting
it's
challenges as well. There always is, but we come over them.
yeah, because I mean, with reference, you know, was it something, you know, you it was easy to find, or was it a bit harder to find? Because I know there was a question. One of the questions was, you know, with the you know, just to develop this. Because you had it, obviously you've had a year, just to develop the scenery. How do you cross-reference that with scenery in real life? You know, if it was the 1980s, you know, you might not have a cab ride, for example. You know.
We luckily did. We had one from when was it? 89. So it's a few years off. It's a few years off, but it was really handy to reference. And then we'd use a lot of because what's really handy because it's the West Coast main line. There's people loved you'd taken photographs on the West Coast main line, especially like stations like Carlisle and whatnot.
Yes.
You know, Carlisle was an absolute hub, you know, for pictures and everything. So that made it.
As well, we would spend at the beginning of the project, whatever we do project-wise, we always spend a good few days scouring the internet for pictures. Well, luckily, Mark has a wide range of timetables, so we always just want to see what Mark's got first to make sure he's got it. Otherwise, we'll go hunting to go and buy the material for that.
Yeah.
But, crossing with Google Earth and old maps as well as a thing. So obviously, with anywhere in the world, everywhere gets redeveloped and regenerated. And new buildings always crop up, and they might obliterate a road for something new. So we have to do a lot of cross-referencing between maps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't always find it 100% perfect, but you can sort of work it out how things were. So we usually manage to find everything.
The posters, look at them. Do you want to have a look in the Mark 1, Matt? Because someone had asked for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, you can hold stuff up behind you, and they won't be able to overtake, so that's all right.
Well, you can have a good go.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to try and overtake your hair, they'd be going to Windermere. So.
Yeah.
So a question, by the way, by Speeds to 2000. Why is the Windermere branch not included? So the issue is you know, with us doing a route this long, you've got to cut things, and like even though we do have the track in for Windermere, with the timescale to make the route, you'd have never had enough time to make the Windermere branch to the way we'd want.
We had to sort of weigh it up as well between playability, and with the Windermere Branch, it's a single line track with just a shuttle service. It was weighing it up between stuff like that and the Kingmore Carlisle trip workings and the Morecombe Branch. Kingmore and Morecombe had more playability value to the route in terms of your gameplay, so that's what won it for us. We would love to have had everything in there. Unfortunately, we had to, as I say, we have to stop somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Still building it.
Yeah.
Did the announcements work? Because I can't hear anything.
I couldn't hear it because.
Yeah, no, I've not.
Did it work?
Yeah, so put the address system on and then press it, and it should play it.
Shush.
The next station stop is Penrith.
There you go.
This has got a slight different interior from what you've seen on the original Mark 1 BG, so it's been fully remodelled, the interior here, with a totally different guards area, as you see with the PA and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Comes in 2 languages as well.
Yeah, these Mark 1s have a different bogey than the original BG did, so it can run 110.
Game's throwing me some shade there.
I was like, come on, I've got places to be.
There's another cool little feature as well. You can hang out the window on the NHA.
Yeah.
You can actually open the window, press E, and you can actually look out of it.
Hey, look at that bit of window hanging. Oh.
Yeah, for guard mode, it's really quite cool because you'll leave a station and then you just do that. Awesome, I love it.
There we are.
Yeah, because Ed slipped that in, and you're like, wait, what's this? You know, when we went to open the door, you're like, wait a minute.
He's very good at putting things in and making us like look for them.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I've added something you'll like. Not going to say what it is, though. You'll have to find.
You have to find it.
Yeah. So try and knock it into the Red Bull way to see if we get some wheel slip by the way.
I can break the train. Happy to. There you go. Broke the train.
You've ended up breaking the train instead.
This shows obviously what happens if you go into the red too long. So if you put the train into full power from a stop, you'll find that obviously the ammeter reading is going to keep going. It's going to knock up the taps, and as you see on the stream, the green, yellow, and red is what's going on with the amp. So green and yellow is where you want to ideally be. Keep it in the top end of the yellow. You can go in the red, but if you keep it there too long, it's gonna blow, and then you'll have to run down and put the controller to off, and then.
So how do I reset the fault now then?
So you're gonna have to do your the pan up reset button, which is in the middle of the just above the horn, I think it is.
Yeah, it's just above the horn. It's the second one above the horn, so just underneath the brake pipe gauge.
Oh.
Yeah, so you just hold down,
reset.
and then you
that's the one.
clonk,
Okay, there you go.
and then
The light will go out.
and then you should
and
be
you
able
can
to
go
get the power. Yeah. So you
This
can't
is-
just put it in and go. You know. Ooh, there we go.
There it goes.
This is where you have to think about what's going on, especially on the tap changer scenario in the snow. When you come out of Oxenome, it's very slippy.
Yeah, you
As I
get
found out when I
wheel slip.
tested the scenario, I was like, oh my god, this is a challenge.
I was hoping you might get a bit of wheel slip before we went into the red, because what happens with the wheel slip is it ends up notching down the taps and then applying the brake a little bit.
Yeah, it's really cool to
Try
hear
and
as
control
well.
the wheel slip. Yeah, I don't think you're going to go into it. You might get it at the Penrith because it's random. Every like I think it's like every 100 meters or so, the
Like that,
value
yeah.
will go up or down, and it will so it's very random depending on the area and everything, and rain and snow affect it more, that kind of thing.
You
Right,
also
we're running to the BR timetable, so we're going to
Well,
be
true.
late anyway. So it's
Well,
fine.
people keep
Oh,
telling
yeah,
me to go and have a
definitely.
look at coaches.
Taking a look at it.
Blame the chat. We'll just blame the chat. Blame the chat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, blame chat.
Could you pop the 2D map on as well, Matt, just to show what's going on
yes.
in terms of that? I saw a question about that earlier. So on the north end is the Ingmore area, above the station. So the station area, then there's the yard there where Matt's Mouse is in a minute. Also there, depot and massive yards for the wagons. On the left hand side is Curragh, right hand side is London Road there, where I was just looking then. Heading down through so Penrith is where the yellow blip is in a minute. We've got Hardendale, Shapbeck and Shap Quarries there. Summit.
Yeah, it's Shap Quarry, Hardendale, then Shapbeck.
Yeah.
In terms of order north.
North, so.
Yeah, and we've got some cool workings both into Shap Quarry and Hardendale. Hardendale's is quite fun because you've actually got an 08 there, which I'll let the user find out what's different about the 08. But you end up shunting some limestone wagons and filling them. It's great, it's a lot of fun.
How many stations? I've seen a question as well. 8 stations on the routes. You've got Preston, Lancaster, Carnforth, Oxenholme, Penrith and Carlisle, and then on the Morecombe Branch you've got Bear Lane and Morecombe. Yeah, the announcements themselves, you activate them in the NHA Guards coach, which is what that was just demonstrating before.
Jan has asked, yeah, it's 90 miles, so the main route is 90 miles, but if you take all the branch lines and other sections in, like, you know, where you've got extensions to like depots and things, it works out to around 100 miles.
Yeah, I mean, if you was to calculate every single yard, you'd probably find about 150 miles.
yeah, probably, yeah.
There's a lot
exactly.
of yard mileage.
Yeah.
In terms of scenery, though, it's about 100 miles. Yeah. It's got London Road, got Kidmore, got Morecombe Branch.
British Railways asked about the Class 142 route. It's layered in from Blackpool branches. It doesn't come with the route itself, but if you do own Blackpool branches, you will find there are some services that utilise the unit.
Yeah,
they subbing from, is it the 2-car 101 services?
Yeah, so you've got them on. So the services you've got them on some services from Carnforth to Lancaster. You've got them also on Morecombe to Lancasters, and also you've got them on some of the Cumbrian coasts that go off from Carnforth and start Preston.
I think the longest drive with the pace was about 35 minutes you can do with that between Carnforth and Preston.
Yeah.
It's quite a decent run.
Before it runs out of fuel.
It's downhill from Carnforth to Preston. Just
there we go, yeah.
Heading over Docker Viaduct up there, so we're well into the hilly terrain now. You've got also Lambrick.
Lambrick which is in a bit of a sorry state in our area.
Yeah.
It got demolished, I think, 2 years later or something. It wasn't that long before it was demolished. Yeah.
It was closed in this era. That was the first asset that was made for the route, wasn't it, that box?
It was the first I made. It wasn't the first made. I think Marchin was the first one to make stuff.
Peter has asked, there's probably one for Matt. You know, we notch up and notch down. How would that work on controllers?
I've not tried it with a controller actually, but I imagine that you're using your normal throttle up, throttle down is just going to move this controller up and down. So it should be quite intuitive to use. I'm just pressing the A and the D key to move this, and so it's just basically the same as the controller.
Yeah, there are also some other keybinds which Ed added in, like there's a quick tap up and quick tap down, which actually I think it works on the D-pad on the controller.
Yeah, it's Shift and A on the keyboard.
It's something like that, which is really quite handy if you want to make sure you're in the right zone without having to move through multiple bits. It's really nice.
I wonder how long it'll take to do end-to-end in a Class 08, because the Bill's just asked. Probably quite a
All
while.
the time.
I think the live stream
Yeah, you might have to take a day off work or something for that.
Yeah.
Beastly Bill, we'll give you a challenge. We want to see it done and do a speed up version so people don't have to watch it all the way through.
Too long didn't watch.
Literally.
Just do a high speed run. It's like that video from like in the 1960s where it was like Brighton in 5 minutes, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
So, as it's been asked, I think we're going to have to address the elephant in the room, by the way, and it is Gen 8.
I'll let you take the wheel.
Yeah, I'll take the wheel because I was the one who. So, due to the length, the amount of detail we've put in, and all of that, Gen 8's timetable is incredibly limited. The only services available to be driven in it, because we had huge memory constraints, is the 87 with the Mark IIIs. I know that's going to be quite disappointing to a lot of players, and we really did try to make it work, but there was just no way we were able to without compromising the detail for other users.
Yeah, I mean it is the longest UK route, and you can see the amount of detail that you've gone into, which is quite incredible. But I mean, you know, for players that want other locos, you know, they've still got free roam and scenarios.
Yeah, the scenarios are still good. Yeah, and they give you a lot.
Yeah, you don't lose any of the stock. It's obviously with the time, it's just the timetable side, so you can obviously.
I don't know what happened there.
I don't know what happened there.
Are you right, Matt? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, it suddenly...
Discord did a Discord.
Discord did a Discord, and it all suddenly just went...
do what it did to me earlier, where it just decided to sort of like reboot itself.
Yeah, it felt as if like the whole PC had just suddenly stopped.
So the one thing I was going to say though as well, because it wasn't a question, the only consoles that have got a limited timetable is the Xbox One and the PS4. Xbox Series S actually does run the timetable absolutely fine, which will be a relief for a lot of Xbox Series S users, because I know that some timetables have had to be restricted due to memory limitations. But no, we haven't noticed any issues with that with the Xbox Series S, which is great.
Matthew 5774, what is Gen 8? Gen 8 is the Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Everybody's reminding me of the neutral section.
Yeah, don't forget the news section. Obviously, we're just travelling through the iconic Blue Gorge at the minute, which is. I thought it was uphill. It's not. It's actually flat.
Yeah, so the interesting thing with this area is actually that the neutral section is actually in a different location than it was. It's the same with Oxenholmes. You know, where it was compared to where it is now has actually shifted. It's an interesting one, really. Like Oxenholmes is Oxenholmes, I think, is further away from the station than it is now in our era, and this one is in a different entirely location. I can't remember. I think the other one was near Hardendale, wasn't it, before?
I'm not sure on that one.
Okay, that was the neutral section through. I tell you what, I keep putting it in off accidentally, because I'm finding it too easy to put it in off. Doing it all the time.
Yeah, technically you've got to let it run down before you put it into off. So you don't
it's fine. So just now I was in run down, letting it run down, and then I thought, oh, have I got it in run down yet? So I pressed D and it popped it into off. Don't.
Someone has asked.
Well, oh, go on, sorry, Jeremy.
No, I was going to say, some people have asked about guard mode and what's included in guard mode. So, you know, like, are the rail tours included, or is it just the 86 services, or is it the 101 as well? What on guard mode? What options have you got?
So with guard mode, the 101 has got guard mode as well. Just, you know, we've added it, and it's got the buzzer, so that's quite fun. The way we've done it, obviously this is the first kind of stock where you don't have a closed door button.
Yeah.
So the way it's been done is that it will automatically close the doors, and then you'll be able to, at least on the Mark 1 and HA, you'll be able to buzz back, and on the other coach and stock, you'll end up whistling, because it will say press space to press whistle, and then you press whistle, and then the train will depart. It's quite cool. It's quite a cool thing, to be honest. Definitely would want to, go somewhere a bit more with it, but because obviously we,
It needed a bit of work, didn't it, to get it obviously to work with what we wanted to achieve. Whereas obviously on Garbo with the modern stock, it's all done with the panels in the train, isn't it?
yeah,
Obviously the tech was different for this.
yeah, no, definitely. And also, I did see a question about something, by the way, and it is relation to the 142 and guard mode. So there should hopefully be an update coming. I don't know if it's going to be the same day, which will enable the guard mode for the 142. We've got that ready to go, haven't we? Science delivered per se, ready to go. And to be honest, I really enjoy guard moding in the 142. It's a lot of fun because of all the controls we've added. Where you have to flip on the door panel,
I need to have a
open
go
it.
at that myself.
It's a lot of fun.
But yeah. Okay. So and there's no guard mode on rail tools. Was that right as well?
Yeah, no, because so to be honest, it's I get where people are coming from to a point, but I think guard mode. The thing is with especially like the ticket checking and whatnot, it's just like just saying to someone, "Sir, do you have a ticket for Hardendale Quarry?" You know what I mean, and stuff like that.
I'd still check it because I've done that.
Yeah, so we've not got it for rail tools, so.
Okay, no, that's fine. No, I know I could see people were asking. So
We're travelling currently up the summit of Shap,
Yeah.
far from the summit now.
You really see the gradient change when you go around the curve, into the actual bit of Shap. It's a bit crazy, really.
This is where the start of the quarries is as well. So you got three quarries quite close to each other. So you have Shap Quarry, Hardendale, and then Shap Beck.
Yeah.
In that order.
They're about a mile from each other, I think they are, aren't they?
Hardendale's the more prominent one. It's got quite a huge tower with smoke bellowing out of it as well. So you see that as you're going by.
this is this famous shot where you get a lot of rail tours in modern day. Like people film right at the top of Shap, don't they? And you see them around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, we've even put the sign in, which was one of the first pictures I think we did when we announced the route, wasn't it? The actual picture of a Shap sign.
It was.
Yeah. You got some wagons which came out from a train.
I think was it Alex's catchy pun and teasers? Was it Shap Summit 90 miles, class 87?
Yeah.
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
Straight to the point. There is a work. I think you can actually run the class with 31 down to Shap Quarry. Am I right, Benedict, as well?
Yeah, I also seem to remember there's a really weird diagram which is a passenger one, which I think is generally 47 haul. It's either passenger or mail, which you can actually drive a 31 on the full route.
My lord. So just gone past Hardendale on the right hand side there. I'm sure if you can quickly just have a look to the right outside of the loco map just to show off the big tower. There we go.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
And then the last of the quarries will be quite shortly then on the left hand side, which is Shapbeck. You go through Shap Village first, which is this cutting. Just going through now.
Hope chat you're enjoying it so far. I mean, we've got over 1,100 people in here at the moment, so it's fantastic to have you all in here.
I see so many people taking the time in the evening to come and join us.
Yeah.
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 And of course, and hello for the people watching it later on.
Yes, as well. Yeah.
Hello to everyone else coming back later.
Yeah.
Watch it again.
Well,
Might have
yeah,
missed
you never
something.
know, yeah.
You might have missed something the first time, and you might, I need to go and see that again.
Yeah.
Sorry again.
No, we were just saying about how many people were in the chat and saying about, you know, if you want to, we have gone through things as well. So if anybody's missed
Oh, I
anything,
thought
you
someone.
know,
I thought you said Matt missed something.
Oh, right, yeah, sound quite. Might have missed Matt. It does sound the same, doesn't it?
I'm
No,
used to
Matt.
people saying Matt missed something, so it's sort of.
Yeah.
No, you've
all
not
good.
overshot a station just yet. I do remember your
Oh, you said it
ScotRail
now.
Express.
Don't jinx it.
I do remember ScotRail Express stream.
Yeah.
I think the less said about that one, the better. In terms of how much you overshot a station.
Yeah.
That
a lot
last
of
quarry
people
on
saying
the left
they
as well is just on by there. That last on side quarry, actually, the grading, the track for the quarry goes higher than the main line, because obviously we're dropping down, but that's on a level gradient, so you do change the level with it quite quickly. I'm sort of moving my hands around like everyone can see where I'm coming from there, but no one can see me. I know what I'm on about.
We hope so, anyway.
Yeah, I hope so. So it's all downhill. Not in terms of match driving. Match driving is doing very well at the minute. Yeah, it's downhill gradient now as we drop down to Penrith, about 7 miles away. Many motorway tunnels that sort of skirt back and forth with the M6 along the way.
Yeah.
You see that quite a lot.
Yeah, keep an eye on the M6 for when you end up driving it, because we've maybe added a few signs. How many signs did we add in the end, Tom? Can you remember? It's good for you. We did add a good few
20 or
motorway
30
signs.
signs, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
in various
no,
places.
Yeah, because it really adds to it. Because when you, I think the main one I always know you see is when you're actually going between Preston and Lancaster.
Oh, the one with the graffiti.
No, not that one actually.
Oh.
The one when the motorway's on your right hand side and you just see the.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's a big sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that upsets me the most is one which shows my hometown, Fleetwood, but Benedict had marching graffiti out, so we can't see it. No one wants to know where Fleetwood is.
something. I did have a thought. It's just. Oh yes, no, I have got it. Obviously, with Shap, something I would like to see is players having a go with like a Shap challenge. If no one knows what the Shap challenge was, sort of a few steam locos back in, I think it was back this era, about 1980s, 1990s, had a go to find out what was the best loco to be used on the West Coast main line, the best steam loco to be able to be used, and they were done with different timings. So I think it was an A4, a Duchess, Duke of Gloucester, and a Black 5, I think, and they all had different goes to see how fast they could get up Shap, and it was all done with different trials. So I think something I would like to see from chat is have a go at different Shap challenges, different loadings, different you know, what challenges could you do with different locos. You know, have a go with the 4F, with the 8F, with the Jubilee and Flying Scotsman. Have a go with those. You know, have a go with the different diesels and different loadings, because I think that would be quite fun to see. You know, and you know, like Shap.
I think that's quite a good idea. You know, where you do your 4-up challenges, something like the 4-up with that could work quite well for them. Yeah,
it
same
would.
sort of
Yeah.
thing.
I
You
keep
get
trying
that
to
first
convince
as well.
everybody to get into another 4-up, and they keep saying no.
I enjoy
I do
watching
say
them.
yes. I
You
say
enjoy
yes.
You do. You do.
Yeah. I know it's everybody
I
else.
should probably
because
stop
we keep
proposing
winning,
really
isn't it?
difficult ones, though. So I keep scaring people off.
Yeah. Well, Nick's in the chat. Nick just said he'll come in. That's fine. Well, we've got 3 of us there, mate.
Hey, Nick. There you go.
There's 3. We just need one other.
Yeah, so just seeing a question, boy. So someone asking about, you know, whether we had any help from the person who made this route for TSC, Keith Ross, and the answer is no. So this was made pretty much by me, Tom, Mark, Callum, Marcin, Ed, and Alex, who is our new loco artist.
Yeah, our new loco
am I
artist
missing,
just
am
joined
I
us.
missing
Yeah.
anyone? I don't think I am.
No,
Am I?
Well, you could always say Alex Ford as well. Who's
Oh yeah, and obviously, yeah, and obviously a huge thanks to
our
House as well for his sound pack.
think LSL have assisted as well with Alex.
Yeah, no,
helping as well.
yeah, LSL helped, with certain research and all that kind of stuff, as well as what was it? I think it's just in general, really, wasn't it? Yeah, and,
Yeah.
quite a bit.
I mean, we've had a few questions. Not sure in the stream, but I've seen many questions on the forums over time and stuff. Who's behind the modelling of the locomotive? We've sort of kept him under wraps, really. All this time. He started off he began as a contractor for us in the earlier development stage of this project, but he's now come on board fully. You may, if you're in the TS Classic scene, you remember the Class 40 under Railright. Alex is part of our team now, who was part once.
Oh wow!
Who was
yes.
Railright.
I remember Alex. Yeah.
He is our mystery loco developer, who has done an absolute superb job.
Yeah, and the 14 TS Classic was superb as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
that was something I definitely.
there.
Yeah, that
Sorry,
was definitely something I isolated traction motors on to see how well it ran, and then the fans overheated. So it overheated because of the fans weren't open.
Just to shadow what Mark's in the chat as well. We mentioned earlier about Crew and James, but yeah, just another shout out to Crew Heritage Centre for their assistance, and James Mather, who's part of the scene with the Class 87.
Yeah,
massive
he
help.
gave us a lot of info, because the thing is, like we had the original manual from back when the 87s were brand new, and there had been changes over the years, and there were some really quite interesting changes, which they had happened after our year and everything as well, but it was still interesting to really read that info and everything about how things had changed with the traction motor output and all that kind of stuff to help with longevity and stuff like that.
Yeah, it goes back to that sort of thing I said earlier about we've learnt a lot on the way. Always a learning. Every day's a learning day.
Yep.
Penrith. I think where Matt's just driving past at the minute, there was a junction here many years ago, which was part of the Keswick Uppermouth line, which also did used to go through to Workington on the Cumbrian coast. That shut down back in the late 60s, I think it was. Not really much evidence there, but there is a little bit of sort of, you see the nod to it with the tree line, as you would with any mark in the ground.
And I love the overhead catenary as well. There's a lot of work that seems to have done.
Benedict's handiwork with the OHLE.
Yeah. I'm surprised I still have hair, to be honest. Oh yeah, no, it was a nightmare, but I want to get it right. That's literally me. You can blame Joe, who's one of the ones at Dovetail, actually, for helping me get so
Particular.
Yeah, particular about overheads.
I think as well though, with it being obviously a core electric route, you've got to try and get that right. It's one of the big features obviously of an electric line. You've got to make sure it's there.
Oh,
where are we going in?
Oh, hello. Oh,
no,
I didn't ask you. It's my fault.
Settled.
Enjoying himself.
I think the platform's the coach is on the platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
that'll do.
Oh, that's
That'll do,
all right.
easy.
Fine.
Any
Yeah,
landing you can walk away from.
I don't really want the train to be landing, to be honest. I don't think you'd be able to walk away from that.
Chicken.
Yeah.
I like the ruin build. You got the ruins behind the station as well.
Oh yeah, that's Penrith Castle.
There you go.
I say with the collectibles, it was the castle theme.
Yeah. It took us a while to come up with a second one, and I was like, I just had a brainwave one day. I was like, I know, why not castles? There's so many castles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Might as well do that.
Makes sense. "17 miles from here to Carlisle, which is the last station on this drive."
Yep. And then we'll be on to the Morecombe Branch then. Somewhat, Morgan, so can you sit outside the 87 while you're powering up that?
It's difficult to drive from the outside because I can't see what the ammeters do, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the other HUD does show you, but
does,
the
yeah.
simplified HUD, you know, it doesn't. I do prefer the simplified. I really like it.
Ed did some modifications to the bigger hood, so you can actually see the ammeter reading on it. So it's actually got a red zone on the hood, so you
Yeah.
know when you're going into the danger zone. Got to make 87 noise in the head, like I can hear it.
Yeah, because obviously, like for us three, we can't hear any audio. But yeah.
No, I've got to imagine the hum. The
Neutral
screaming
section.
motors.
Oh, there, that one catches you out if you forget about it.
Oh,
I think Matt's forgot about it. Oh, there we
Not
are.
paying any attention.
He's not gone down, has he?
Yeah, that is one of the ones that catches you out.
Yeah, it's very close to the station, and I think that one might be closer than Carlisle's one actually to a station.
Yeah, Carlisle's is a bit more of a nuisance though, because you've got an uphill climb
Yeah.
immediately then into the neutral section.
Yeah, you really got to be on the ball.
Yeah. Breaking into Penrith is a bit of a nightmare as well with the neutral section, because with the Rio it kicks out immediately as soon as you hit the magnet, and because of it you really want to shut off a brake just beforehand, so then you don't give a massive jolt to the passengers. Because I think the cab ride, actually the driver which we randomly having a conversation about 89 cab ride we had, weren't they, Tom? And it seemed like he was saying that he generally shuts off all when I get into Carlisle.
One thing as well you don't want to do not stop on a neutral section.
Oh, Martin did that, didn't he?
Martin, one of our asset developers, he went for a drive on southbound liner. Many occurrences happened on his drive. I think he got caught out 3 times by the Carlisle neutral section each time, and then he ended up doing 150 mile an hour on a container train going down Shap.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
yeah, that was before the physics were finalised and the
Yeah.
cut-off was added in.
He does actually, yeah. So if you do, I think it's 124 mile an hour in the 87, it will cut out.
Yeah. You're just draining the loco way too much.
Someone's asked about AWS gaps. Is there AWS gap areas?
So the only AWS gap area is Carlisle in the route.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is for the AWS.
Yeah.
Someone has said
Amazingly though, when Martin was doing 150 mile an hour, he still managed to actually stop it at Greyrig. He managed to actually get to Greyrig and stop, and quite amazing. I don't know how he managed to do that.
Yeah.
It's quite funny to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, no, the physics have been played around with since then. Just in case anyone's worried that it's going to accelerate too quickly or anything like that. Yeah, we got a lot of feedback actually, because James gave us quite a lot of feedback when we first got it in with the physics. From Crew Heritage Centre. I mean,
I think that required a few things to actually be rewritten in the script, didn't it? At the
yeah, there were a few things that were a bit different, from when the manual said compared to when the route was set and all that. So,
have you had any you've had 87 drivers then help you with this, or people who worked with them? Obviously, you said you went to Crew Heritage Centre, but have they been sort of like? Are they drivers, do they know, sort of like, as you say, you've had to change some of the physics, but was that something that you sort of like, when you'd done development on the 87, you showed them and said, right, okay, this is what we've done, what do you think, sort of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, James is the caretaker, I think. I don't know what the word would be for it, but he's the main one behind the 87 at Crew, isn't he, Tom?
Yeah.
But he's also worked with, I don't think he's driven, but he's worked with 86s in the past as well, which are a very similar class of a locomotive.
Was that with Freightliner, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was with Freightliner, yeah.
Oh, wow,
before they all went, which I missed. I loved seeing them at Ipswich.
Yeah. Well, for those in the chat, me and Benedict are in the same sort of area. So for us, like seeing Mark 3s and 86s and things like that, it's all, all very good memories. And Matt, actually, because Matt, you would have seen.
I used to live in Stowmarket and go train spotting in Ipswich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Someone in the chat just mentioned Sorry about the 87101. 87101 isn't included in the pack. There's got some differences, but that's different. I think was it a test bed?
Yeah, it was a test bed from
Test
class
bed for
90s,
the
yeah.
90, weren't it? But yeah, that isn't included in this pack.
I think there was actually IRL some cab changes and that kind of stuff. I'm unsure entirely about the specifics of it. But yeah, no, 101 isn't included.
There is some sleeper services, Alec. Yeah, there is a number of sleeper services in the route. Obviously, we haven't got sleeper coaches, but
Yeah.
they are there. You can drive the services, yeah, the Mark IIIs.
They're a mixed rate generally, they're Mark 3s and Mark 2s. You know, we've tried to keep most rates quite authentic. I mean, with Blackpool branches, like, you know, I think, you know, it annoyed some people, but you had BGs both ends and that kind of stuff. We've tried to keep most of the rates authentic to, you know, to the realms of what we have in game and everything. So, like, you know, you've got the trains which split will have 2 BGs, others will only have the 1, that kind of thing.
Yeah. We're back on 101 there. Yeah, so 87101, it didn't have tap change, did it? Was it Firista equipment? I think it was like, obviously, the 90s are full on handle, isn't it? Just smooth, straight through power.
Yeah, very, very similar to the 90s.
Just seeing if there's any other questions we haven't answered. Oh, yeah, someone had asked, will the Class 87 be added as AI traffic in Blackpool branches at Preston?
So there definitely are plans on doing that. It's just a case of it is quite a bit of work, and it's a matter of getting the chance to do it. I definitely want to do it, and you know, I was the one who wrote the timetable for the original route, and it would be lovely to have, like, it, you know, an 87 go off of your service, 47 go on front of it, and then you drive it to Blackpool. That would be a lot of fun. But it's, you know, we definitely are intending on doing it. It's just a matter of when.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Just check everything.
See on the HUD now, so we're not, even though it's 6.8 miles from Carlisle, you can obviously see the speed changes coming in as we're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, it
does
drops
drop quite
down.
a bit.
It drops down from this curve, and then I think it goes back up, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a few tight curves coming up on the approach to Carlisle. With the Class 47 snow ploughs, will they generally give the snow effect? You'll get the kick-up effect when you're driving snow, but there's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no like snow being pushed from the front of the plough. Yeah, you do get that kick-up effect as you do with stock.
That's an automatic in every time like that.
Yeah.
Slovak has asked, what can you do with the 47?
So there's multiple moves. So we've got some rail tours which use the 47s. We've also got some Edinburgh additionals. You've got one which stops everywhere, which is fast. You know, in both directions for a festival. You know, a festival in Edinburgh. You've also got quite a bit of freight you can do with 47. You know, you've got a good amount of 47 moves, even though the 87 is the predominant loco in the route.
There is a the 47. I think there's a 45 mile an hour working all the way up the route.
Oh God, don't!
It takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to do.
Is that the unloaded TA's one, or?
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. The loaded working goes up 60 mile an hour, but coming back it's 45. It's something to do with the bogies on the TAs. So yeah, it's a long run, and you get looped a few times as well. I think that's the Dalston working. Comes off the Cumbrian coast at Carlisle. That runs all the way through to Preston.
I noticed someone had asked, sort of like, with the 87, is there like a non-stop run from Carlisle to Preston, or are they all
Yeah, there's a variety.
Yeah, there's a good amount. Yeah, I mean, I think there's even one diagram that skips Lancaster but then calls it Penrith. It's very weird. They were a bit here, there, and everywhere. So
It's
I mean,
not a full like every hour service, is it? There's a lot of changes in the timetable, so there's a lot of variety.
yeah, no, 100%.
It's interesting because you know you've got quite a lot of different variations of services depending on where they're coming from, and
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I mean, I must admit, I'm still loving the cab. I'm just looking at the cab and sitting there, and it really does take you back in time looking at that. You know,
Night times are nice. It's nice and atmospheric and very cosy at night time with all the sort of the glow off the gauge and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's a cosy place to be.
You instinctively turn the heater on.
Congratulations, Matt, for your achievement.
Thank you.
You've just unlocked an achievement.
Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, no, pretty much. Generally, the way you'll know if it's a non-stop run is it'll be about an hour 4 minutes. I think
Wow.
a non-stop run is. Most trains these days, I think even these days actually, is there even actually a Pendolino that doesn't call it Lancaster these days?
I think they all stop at Lancaster these days.
Yeah, because I was surprised the amount of that actually do pass it, to be honest.
Definitely a lot more in this era.
I noticed people wanted to have a go with the Pendolino on this.
It's good
So,
fun.
have you had a go? Have you? Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
it quite a while ago, but it is good fun.
Yeah,
It looks at home.
bear in mind, because I've seen a lot of people ask about it. No, we haven't implemented EPS speeds or track ballasters or anything for the tilting for the 390, because this route was set to be for the 87. There are more changes than you might think actually between the route from now and
Even at 110 mile an hour, it's still good fun. It's a nice change just to take it out and give it a good run.
And the tilt works
Say it
by
looks at
default. The train will still tilt, even though it hasn't had the balloons enabling.
Yeah. We've just gone past Upper Yard. The civil engineer signs are just here on the right here now. So we're just coming into to Carlisle.
Yeah.
The last neutral section is just behind where Matt's just gone past. If you'll have noticed that. There's also just one more. Yeah. There's one Morecombe board on this route as well, which you might have spotted on the way into Carlisle. It's not your typical, obviously your usual what you'd know these days is the triangular Morecombe board. It's actually a round one, black with a yellow. Is it a yellow outer line around it, Benedict?
Yeah, it's similar to the one which was at Leighton on Blackpool Branch, apart from the speed limits 20 and 15.
It's got a little light on top of it. It lights up at night as well. Just crossed over that just a minute ago where a lot of your trip workings happen. So we've got the lines going under the line, the main line there, which go to Curragh and London Street, and also London Road and Rome Street. Rome Street was part originally of the avoiding line, which I know a lot of people have asked about the avoiding line, but that had shut. I think that's shut in 83 or 84. That was shut down. So there's a small little section that remains to the metal box factory, which is in this route.
Yeah.
Are we coming to Carlisle?
Yeah. So you've got an 87 sitting there ready to go on something. That seems to be a common theme. You generally will notice them there, ready for a train to come in and then go on it, like a train from wherever. This is one of the trains that actually, after this finishes, the 87 runs round and goes onto the other end to form a service back south to Preston. Also, what's really interesting, and the thing I love watching, is you've got quite a bit of shunt releasing at on both sides of the bay platforms, where like you'll have like a service from Glasgow via the other line come in, come in. 08 will go on the front of it, drag the coaches out. Local will then move out, then it gets put back into the platform, and then the local can then go on the other side. And I really just like that. It's really quite cool.
Yeah, I love the original like lights with the name in as well, Carlisle station name in.
Yeah,
all the yellow vans around and everything like that. It feels really not of the era.
Something that interests me as well in the canopy, where the 87's actually sat, there's a random section that sort of like goes up and above and then back down again. No idea what that's for. If anyone knows, feel free to say in the chat. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
There we go. Well, that was the first full line run. I hope you enjoyed that. So we're now on to the Morecombe Branch, aren't we? Which is
2 Echo 82.
2E82. Yep. With a 101.
It's a free car one as well.
Free car one.
I
Yeah.
think this one is.
Yeah. So I did notice someone ask a question, and I know it would be lovely and everything to have it, but no, the level crossing at Morecombe is not controllable by the player. No level crossings are in the route. Please, can we have a drivable brute?
I think you can sit on, the little yellow luggage carts. I think Callum made it so you could sit on one of them this time around. I'm pretty certain he put one of the action things where you can sit down. There was a few of them around the route.
Yeah. So, keen-eyed players might be able to notice that the 101 in this route has had a bit of a lick of paint. That's all down to Ed. We didn't really, apart from me doing the desto board, I think Ed was literally the, everything else.
Yeah, he's just done a fair bit.
Yeah, because we've got a new desto board for the 101 relative to the route.
Interior panelling has changed. I think the maquette as well is another thing that's changed. We've got suspension.
I don't know if the maquette's changed actually.
Oh, okay.
But I know like the back of things and everything.
Yeah.
Also, I like that the timing has the 20 rail tour in there. I didn't even realise.
I never noticed that. Good choice. Again, don't forget when you drive the 101 that you have your change end lever in. If you haven't, I'm not sure if you've done that yet, Matt. Which is located under there. You need to make sure that's always in.
It's very hidden.
Yeah.
Where's the
You don't have to have the
there
8
it is.
Yeah, it's
Still,
very
I
hidden.
wouldn't know where to find that. Blimey.
very well. Yeah, it's very well in.
Yep. Oh, someone did notice a Ferris wheel spinning. Yep.
Yeah, I did notice that at the corner. Yeah, there it is.
Slowly spins.
We've become quite accustomed to doing theme parks.
Oh no.
Yeah, I
right.
know. That'll be your next sort of every route has to have a theme
Yeah.
park. It'll be fun. Around the corner, you going, oh, there's another one.
Not sure if you've got a quick moment to have a quick look around on the front of the entrance map before you go for a spin.
Yeah, so we've got the whole promenade area explorable at Morecombe. You'll even find a few collectibles actually along the promenade.
Yeah, we do
Oh, wow.
encourage you to go for a walk.
Yeah, go for a walk.
You can go all the way down here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty illuminating, isn't it?
Look at that. So you can go all the way down there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Taking the views. You've got the pier as well to the left in the distance. Used to have 2 piers at Morecambe, but the one on the right hand side where Matt's flying at the minute, that burnt down, fortunately, many years ago. And they built the second one, but I think that eventually got knocked down as well. The pier doesn't exist anymore. The actual promenade itself has changed a lot over the years. A lot of this isn't how it is now in the current modern day. It is, yeah, you can have a wander.
Yeah, Martin did all the promenade.
For about there.
Yeah, that's where the camera ends, I think. Yeah, Martin made quite a lot of the promenade, whereas I was in. The station was my main project, to be honest, in terms of stations. It's a lovely station. It's a real shame. I'm glad it is still used these days, even though it's as a different purpose. Because the
Music
station
venue, isn't it, these days?
Yeah, it's like a little music venue.
Yeah. The modern station is located about 300 metres further back down the track. The whole area's changed a lot.
Oh, I think we're back.
Has it done its thing again?
Done its thing. Yeah, it's
Discord
done its
doing a
thing again.
Discord.
Yeah. Discord
Yeah.
doing a Discord. And Matt's speeding.
To make
You'll
up
note
for-
as well some new audio in the 101, like in the gear changes, the transmission. What you get whining and stuff like in the gears as you go through. Get little hisses and that when you change gear as well.
Yeah, and also like when the guard's buzzer actually goes off, you also notice that the red light just underneath one of the brake gauges actually lights up, which is really quite cool.
Yeah, when you get the buzz, it flashes for each buzz. The horn is the exact same as it was. Yeah, the horn hasn't changed. The main motor sounds are the same as they were. It's just other bits and pieces that have been added onto it. And
Yeah, and
changed.
just some
tweaked.
refinements, I think, and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. That's literally it for Edvo. It's just like, oh, you're working on a new.
Oh, they've all frozen again. Discord is clearly having problems
I've
these days.
bended it was mid-sentence there.
Yeah.
The line which you see here going off to the right as well is the line to Haysham. Again, Haysham itself isn't included in the route. Anyone has asked that question. Same sort of reason really. It wasn't actually in use for passengers in this year. It later opened up again to passenger service, I think sort of back end of the 86 period, early 87. But again, it was very, very minimal traffic, so it wasn't again that sort of, if you know what I mean. Kingmore was the one that won it in terms of the play. Contrast from your high-speed runs coming down this part.
Yeah, it's a very, very much contrast.
Nice little, nice to just watch the 101 bobbing around with the suspension as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the suspension reacts to all of the track joints, so it gets
Yeah.
bounces around a bit.
The other thing as well for the 101 that's changed is the exhaust. So you get the nice blue haze of smog when you're going through the gate, but also when you're idle as well. So you get it just sort of like builds up around the unit when it's idle, and when you're going. Right. It's quite nice to see. Can you drive directly from Preston to Morecombe? What service have you got for the coming out of Morecombe, Benedict? Because I know there is some stuff that goes down towards York, is it? And then the one that goes up to Barrow?
Yeah, I can't remember if the York, but I think the York service does something really bizarre, and I think it does go via actual Carnforth. It's a very bizarre diagram. I don't understand what it does. All I've done is I've inputted the bits I needed to, because we didn't need to cross-reference it with any other timetable. I mean, so. Yeah.
Someone said, "Is Eric Morecombe on the seafront?"
I think it was located further along, unfortunately. So where it's located, you wouldn't see it in the
it's
playable
a shame.
area, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't think the statue was actually put up in 87. I think it was later on.
Yeah, I think it was later on. Yeah.
I think it was somewhere in the 90s, I think. Well, this is Bear Lane. Explorable signal box. I'm not sure if you've got a moment to have a quick wander around to the signal box, Matt.
Of course.
I know
we
you're going
do.
to tad. Well, I mean, we're a tad late, but this is BR.
Yeah, exactly.
Another little thing to note as well, it has been added into the scenario for the 101, is when you do a change ends in the 101, you need to make sure that you reset the dead man's handle, otherwise you'll find that you'll roll back. So basically all you do is you click the handle and it'll raise up, and you just push it back down, and it'll basically allows you to drive.
Here we
So,
go.
there's
There is a
the
section about like the manual as
Look
well.
at this.
Fair lane. Yeah, and it's definitely an idea to explore the signal boxes because we have hidden collectible.
Oh, look at that!
In there.
Mint cake. I think that when we did the Morecombe Branch in Dev and people saw that control panel, I think that that's where the do we get to control the signal box at the level crossings came from. So I know that's where people thought it may have been accessible to control them. But yeah, as Benedict mentioned before, you can't actually control the crossing; they do themselves.
Yeah.
It's really
It's nice to come and explore these boxes.
Yeah. Always love signal boxes.
I think I love some of the Easter eggs in one of the ones watching the actual one for the. It's the one for the. It's near Steamtown. I forgot which one it was at Carnforth, but there's some funny things in there.
Oh, which one's that?
I can't remember. Was it Southside?
The one inside Steamtown.
Yeah, one
That,
inside
yeah, that one's
Steamtown,
Southside.
Yeah.
Anyone wondering where Southside is? That was actually part of a section on the Preston To Carlisle on the long drag, as you would head up towards Ribblehead. So it was relocated there. It's still there today. It's a listed box as well.
Wouldn't surprise me if it's listed. So I've kept seeing someone ask it, so I might as well answer. So it's someone asking, is the class 45 layering inaccurate? So so what we've got is we've got the class 45 only being able to spawn on diagrams that make sense, so it won't be spawning on freight or anything like that, but it is possible on most of the 47 like mail runs and that kind of stuff, as well as even though technically it was a little bit out of error, we still have got the 40 being playable for multiple services as well, mainly the freight, stuff which 47 could do.
Alex Jackson just mentioned about with the 87s and the DVT. The DVTs didn't come into use, I don't think, until when the Class 90s made their appearance. So a bit out of era for this.
Or not the early ones, not the early ones, because you had Mark IIAs, didn't you, which were the DVTs, the original ones, weren't they?
There was a
DBSO,
DBSO,
yeah.
DBSO, that's the ones.
With the flat-fronted ones.
That's flat-fronted ones.
Yeah, the DVT basically like the pointy-ended ones, like you see on the back of a Class 91, same as them. But yeah, they didn't come in until when the Class 90s came in. So, yeah, it's a bit earlier than them. Is there a shortcut button for the announcement? So the 101 doesn't have announcements. This train back in the day didn't have announcements as such. I don't think you can actually do the announcements with G, can you, in the 87? You actually have to go in and do it via guard mode, as far as I'm aware. So you'd have to be in guard mode, and then activate the panel itself.
Oh, it's funny when Matt tested this and he was on time. That actually just went behind him, but it's obviously been put in front of him. So
Yep, done.
The freight's cool as well. When you get
they're frozen again.
no, they're based on diagrams, but they're speedlink.
Oh, we're back.
You froze again.
oh, with Discord again.
Yeah, cheers Discord.
How much did we get cut out there?
I know.
Only briefly.
That's
One of you talking about.
it's
freight.
interesting with the rates.
Sorry, carry on.
So with the freight contest, and that was a perfect example of it. That was one of the speedlink contests, which are on the route where they'll be just mixed and matched. You'll have some steel wagons, some other wagons as well, and everything, which is pretty cool. And it's nice to see a bit of variety, rather than just seeing a full steel train or a full intermodal train or some stuff like that.
The Pilgrims asked Benedict about 4-car paces. Is there any 4-car paces on this branch in your timetable?
Yeah, I think there's a few diagrams. I don't think there's many, but there are a few diagrams. Yeah, because like for example, when we passed Lancaster, you saw that 4-coach one in Lancaster at the time, and that was going to be forming a Morecombe service, I think. So.
With the 101 as well, there is actually the opportunity in the timetable that if you, I think there's an ECS run that actually starts at Windermere, and you do run to Lancaster, so you do get a bit more of a higher speed run as well on that. So you take that down to Lancaster, and then I'm not sure if it runs another ECS working either to the holding sidings or it goes somewhere to Carnforth. I don't remember where that goes. does an interesting working if you continue the service on. Because that's part.
Yeah, because it's a case of what they'll do is Loco will come in from Leeds, do a couple of back and forth runs generally to between Lancaster and Morecombe, and then go back. That seems to be the way they like to do things. It's pretty cool. So also I see that someone says, where does class 37 feature? So there's actually so 37 doesn't layer into anything, but there is actually I forgot what it hauls.
It's the Clitheroe cement train.
Yeah,
Clitheroe
but that's
cement train.
But yeah, that one is, isn't it double-headed 37s? And it can only be double-headed 37s, if I remember.
Yeah.
That one's one which we've left in. Also, there are a couple of AI-only layered-in services that go. I think it is. They go under the mainline bridge because they go
Carlisle.
from like Newcastle side over to the Cumbria coast side.
I think there's a field train from Workington that goes underneath, so if you've got the right time there, I have seen it once actually, I'm not sure what service it is, but you do actually go over the top as it's going underneath, so you do get that. I think also there might have been an 08 trundling around at the same time, so there's quite a bit going on.
Yeah.
All card there you go.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much showing that you do have 4 cars running.
Someone's asked as well, will the 87 layer onto other routes? So we plan to get it onto the Blackpool route at some point when we have the capacity to fit that in. I believe it was on the roadmap that is featuring on the West Coast Mainline South timetable upcoming upgrades as well.
Yeah,
There's a
Liam's
picture of that
added
on
it
the
on
roadmap.
one rail tour service, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be quite fun to drive
would
out
be nice to do
on that route, yeah.
it's nice to see people making use of it, so it'd be nice to see it around and about.
Yeah, no, because it was, I mean, beyond the way.
We're back again.
We're back again. Discord is not happy tonight.
Well,
Sorry,
it's
chat.
not-
It's
No, it
not
really
happy.
isn't, is it?
Could someone put 50p in the meter?
What's really
Hang on,
annoying
I'll
is
get
that we
me-
have
I'll get me
this is a
generator out.
paid for server.
I know. Crazy.
Nitro, it's what you need, apparently.
I know. I know.
CL49, the class 37 used is the Tees Valley one. Answer your question there.
Yeah, Euro Phoenix definitely wouldn't be an error.
Oh, no, that's a modern one. Will we see motor rail gubs in the future? With no plans on that, but you never say never. Like anything, isn't it?
Yeah, no, we've had discussions about loads of things really. Stuff maybe want in the route, stuff we'd want in next route, that kind of thing. Nothing's necessarily set in stone, but
No, nothing to obviously tease on that one, but you never know. Maybe one
yeah,
day.
no. I mean, like this. I mean, you've got the Ed's wagon list. It's like this massive list of wagons he wants.
I call it the essential list of wagons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Good list actually, to be honest.
So in terms of the 101 featuring on other routes, actually, I would have to.
Does it work on Blackpool branches? This one straight away out of the box.
I'm unsure. No, I don't think it's. I don't think so on Blackpool branches. I'd have to have a proper. I'd have to
Obviously,
have
if it doesn't at the minute, it will obviously at some point down the line when we do that update to the timetable, because we'll get it onto there.
Yeah. Definitely.
Someone asked, what does Scotsman run on rail tours? How many has that got? Do you know?
So in a nutshell, I initially did the timetable, with the Jubilee rail top of mind, and
Scott.
And what we've got is we've actually got Scotsman layering onto that. So you will need both if you want to drive Scotsman on it. So you would need Spirit Steam and Flying Scotsman to be able to run said rail tour. But it was just as a suggestion, by one of the teams. I was like, "Oh, that could be quite a fun one to do with Scotsman." So it's using the Spirit Steam coaches still, but it has Flying Scotsman on it.
Because I think Scotsman would have ran around this area in this sort of time period, but it would
Yeah,
have
definitely.
it would have been in LNER spec rather than BR, wouldn't it, back in the day?
Yeah. There is pictures of it at Carnforth in this area. Say in the was it LNER? Was it Apple?
Apple green. I think it had a white roof as well. Quite a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think it actually did have the. I'm not sure if it had the deflectors on the side or it had them off though. can't quite remember.
It was off single chimney at this point because it
Right.
was Waterman era, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah,
So it's not strictly correct, obviously, with the guys of Scotsman, but it's another extra thing that you can obviously choose to play with if you've got it really.
yeah,
it's
it's
quite fun to
Scotsman's
drive, yeah.
lovely. Yeah, look, it's lovely to drive a Scotsman.
yeah.
Mark enjoyed driving. I think he took it out in the snow as well, just for the extra challenge.
Right, so there we are. That's the two service runs we're going to show tonight. But we have got two little things that we did want to show you. One was, I think it was about 1 o'clock you wanted, wasn't it?
What
at
at night?
Carlisle.
At night at Carlisle, yeah, around one,
Yeah.
around 1 o'clock at Carlisle, yeah,
In the morning, yeah.
yeah.
That's next. That finishes loading.
Yes, from actually around the time I actually set the time lapse, because I thought, rather than do a, conventional time lapse, like Carlisle, like, I mean, I've always heard stories, from people, like, doing it overnight at Carlisle, seeing all the different moves and that kind of stuff, and it always just, it was nice to have quite a few bits and bobs, from that era in, really, of all of that.
There we go.
Nice. It's such a huge station. This Callum's. This is Callum's handiwork. So Callum did Preston Station as well. So he did the undertaking of this one. So he took a trip down to Carlisle. Got all his photo reference as well
Okay.
for this one. Yeah, it's huge. I think it's his biggest station. I think it's actually bigger than Preston.
Oh,
No, I
Discord.
think we're back.
Oh, we're back. Discord just went, oh,
Getting
no.
used to this now. I'm not sure if it's bigger than Preston or not, actually, to be fair, but I feel like it is in some ways.
It's got more platforms, I think.
Yeah.
Only just though, doesn't it?
I mean, it's more complex than Preston in its design,
Oh yeah, I'd say so.
definitely. You can also wander through the old ticket office and have a look at the Citadel as well, if you've got the leg capacity to do that for us, Matt.
Don't
know,
know,
just
I
the
need to
loco
look
going
onto
off
myself,
out the
I
bay
will do
there.
that.
If you head over the bridge and back to the main entrance, when you
I like how it's got the flags as well to tell you which way
Yes.
you're meant to be going as well. I like that.
yeah, we studied a lot of flicker imagery in the era to make sure we found as many of these signs as possible, just to get them all in. There we go.
So
Oh, you can't get through that door yet. That has actually been fixed for release. So Callum has actually unlocked that door, so you can go through it. There is another door you can actually get out of though. If you go back into the actual station and then go right, there is the next door along.
yeah, it's funny because it was unintentional. We were like, screw it. We'll have it so
Yeah,
the player can go actually wander out here, and we've just
Oh, wow, look at this.
made it a little bit of a nice scene here.
That's nice. I like that. That's well done. Look at that.
It'd be a shame
I
not
love
to let
seeing like the
people see
original
outside there.
post boxes and things like that. That's what I
Mm.
like as well.
Yeah.
And I see the first asset I actually made for TSW, which was my phone box.
The phone box.
Yep.
I think
Find
yeah.
the
So there's
door
one
now.
door
There it
that
is.
you could get through at the minute, but Callum last night I think he opened the rest of them back up. 'Cause it's pointless having just one open. Might as well have them all open. So
Oh, yeah.
hasn't made it into this build yet, but it will do.
There's
Yeah.
no way. Oh, you got trap mat. There we are. Oh wait, over there. There you go.
There's a number of 08s that frequent the area. I think there's
Oh,
one at
God,
each end
there's-
of the station.
Yeah, you've got a
Kingmore.
South Pilot, a North Pilot. I think you've also then got a Kingmore one and an Upper B one,
Really?
and then you've got all the ones related to the trip working as well. And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's a good few, and
That's
they're
Yeah,
all
so
the
we've got a
correct.
few variants. Yeah.
They're the correct numbers and the correct like the looks alright as well in terms of whether they've got like yellow rods, red rods, different buffer beam, sol bar as well. Hardendale's got an extra one, which it's actually a dusty one. So if you've seen our in-depth updates, you might have seen the picture for the dusty limestone one. It just looks the part.
And I like the original PAS boards as well. The original like
Oh, the screens, yeah.
Yeah, the original
Those are the screens from. Those are the. I think they're the Tees Valley screens. I think.
Yeah, they were ones which came from Matisse Valley up
Yeah,
when that got an update. Yeah.
Been suited to these routes.
Yeah.
Oh, the buffet's open.
The buffet's open at 1 a.m. God, that's a rarity. Look at that.
Drop the old Travellers Fair.
You've
We'll get
got
our BR
collectible castle
sandwiches
in there as well.
Oh yeah, there's a castle on the counter as well. One of the collectibles.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the collectibles. You end up putting in the castle onto the diorama,
Oh,
which
look
I
at
really
that.
like.
That's cool.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, no, because when we said to Callum, oh, we'd want something like a castle, so I was expecting, it to be like one of them plastic castles which you used to remember playing as a kid, and they ended up doing it as a diorama thing. And I thought
There we
that
go,
was
those
cool.
movements.
Yeah, got 47 going on to this set.
Is this a parcels train?
Yeah, it's a small parcels train,
Or
yeah.
newspapers train? Point A rail wants a BR sandwich, please, Matt.
There you go. Wow, look at that. That's really nice.
Should come up in a sec. There we go. Oh. Well, since I think that's just because of the way the coders sometimes can do.
Yeah, we've got an 87 in the middle there. You can actually see, because we can see up close now, the intercity livery as well.
Yeah.
There we
We've
go.
got Lord Nelson, this one.
You really see the bumps on the panelling.
Comes out nice in the light.
And we're back.
Change ends.
And we're back.
But yeah, the light, when the light hits the side of the 87, it's,
Yeah.
really captured it nicely.
Yeah, no, it's funny because you had a couple of 87s which actually have a nameplate in the middle with the intercity livery, when most of them are on the side, top left side of the logo, which is an interesting one.
Yeah. That's really good. Hang on, is there something else coming in there? Oh, there is. Well, that was close, Matt.
No, it wasn't.
This is
It
the
wasn't.
period where I was sort of asleep. There's another parcels. There's another parcels train.
I think this might be the one the 87 goes on, to be honest. Because I think it might be a sleeper that came via Dumfries. I don't know. It might be parcels though, which also switches loco. Oh, it's a sleeper. Yeah, with its wacky and wonderful formation.
Yeah, look at that. That's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, this is something for chat. I'd like to see, all your different, like time lapses as well. That would be quite fun to see, because I think there's lots you can see and do on this route, and certainly when people make their own scenarios and things as well, and timetables for this. Well, there's the blue haze. There you go. There
Yeah,
it
the
is.
47s. I think the 47 had that with Blackpool, so it was always a feature. So that's something that's come through into this one.
There you go. Right, I know you wanted to also have a look at the FFA and FGA containers.
Indeed, yeah. So just for this one, if you load up 4 Sierra 89 map,
On the
give
87.
a quick look around at them. Yeah, please. The interesting thing with these wagons is that they run in sets, but they don't just run as a typical sort of like outer, inner, outer. You can actually get like 4 or 5 inners before you get another outer. So there is some interesting sets you can get.
Yeah. You've also, I've made sure to add some double-headed sets as well. There's a few sets which are like, I think it's like 28 wagons with double-headed.
Yeah.
Is this one a double-headed one or not, Tom?
I'm not sure. Blue Solitaire, they actually aren't the sleeper coaches. It's just the standard Mark 3A that come with the route, because there isn't any sleeper style Mark 3s in the game. So we've used the ones that we've got available to us.
There you are.
Look, Freightliner.
Yeah.
I'm just highlighting something for those eagle-eyed people to recognise that we have a licence back again.
Yes, we did have a question about that, Matt. Let me just quickly get that one, because someone had asked. Where's it gone? My question regarding the branding Freightliner containers is the license that is available to be used, and if so, will that be in future content?
I'm not going to guarantee, but it is available for use. It covers everything up to and including green and yellow Freightliner. It does not include the Genesee and Wyoming orange and yellow.
Okay.
So this is why we were able to have that license came in relatively recently, and the Just Trains team were able to take good advantage to it to bring that into the route here. But yeah, the Freightliner license allows us to go up to the Freightliner blue, green and yellow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, because that was definitely the thing we noticed when looking at modal trains was the Freightliner one, and we were like, "Ooh, can we have it?" And I think we asked at the perfect time, really, because you'd only just obtained it.
Yeah.
The
whether we
end up including it.
Working with Freightliner for what seems like years, literally, and it just literally came through a little while ago. So
it's definitely great to see that it's back in, or in anyway.
Yeah.
Was it ever in the game Freightliner?
Yeah.
Not
in TSW.
Was it in
in TSW?
Oh, yeah, in TSW.
It was in TS Classic. There you go. Oop, hello.
Thank you.
Oh.
We had a blip.
We had the blip again.
Just a quick one as well with the
All of the
container. You get 20-foot and 40-foot container, and each time you load into a service, it'll be a randomised set. Like it won't always be the same livery and box. It'll always randomise.
Yep.
There we have it. Look at that. And as we can see now departing. Look at that.
Yeah, no, because it was a little bit annoying. I think I remember the first time I spawned to just take the licensing pictures and just to make sure it was all good and everything. So I was like, oh god damn it, because it's random Freightliner hasn't spawned for once.
Yeah.
But then you'll get contests where you've got it a good few times.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's just random, which I love.
Brilliant. Well, I think with that, that'll be it for tonight.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Oh, Matt. There you are, Matt. There you are. So, how was that, chat? That was. How many of you are there still in here? Wow, we've still got over 1,000 people in here, so that's fantastic. Well done, everybody who stayed in for the
they
preview.
wanted to see
I hope you
the
enjoyed
layers. They wanted to see the layers.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
someone
but
did.
when
Yes,
you do
they
that-
did. I don't know if
Well remembered, Jamie.
I don't know if the naming's going to fully make sense. I think I called the TA trains tea time.
I didn't remember.
Most should make rough sense, though, I think. Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
So.
There's all the layers.
Tea time.
There you go.
Yeah. So as you can see, though, from this, that you don't actually require, each layer I've tried to split off, so it only will require that content. Like the company choppers, for example, only requires the 20. It doesn't require.
Nope, they've gone again. We're loving Discord tonight. Hopefully they'll be back again in a minute.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hooray! So there we go, chat. Hope you enjoyed the stream. So don't forget, it is out on let me get the date, the 26th of November. So you haven't got long. You haven't got long to wait.
The 87's takes a little bit of practice to get the best out of, but once you get the hang of it, I mean, this was literally the first time I've run the 87. I just haven't had a chance to have a look at it so far. So you're seeing my first chance of looking at it, and once you get the hang of it, which doesn't take long, it's really slick, smooth train to drive actually. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's one of them where, to be honest, once you get used to it, it's like one of them where then you can try and get the best out of it. Be like, oh, I want to make sure I'm running at this speed on the gradients and stuff to keep speed.
Yeah, you get probably be practice
Yeah.
with running up, running down. You'll be using the accelerometer as you run down to sort of balance out to make sure you're not speeding up or slowing down, but you're maintaining speed because maybe you still need speed. You just don't need as much as you were or much power as you were using previously. So, yeah, there's some skill that you can build up on it, but it's relatively straightforward train to drive. And I showed what happened if you overdo it, so that you can easily see how to reset it. It's straightforward. There's nothing too difficult to deal with there. It's certainly several orders of magnitude easier than a Class 101 to drive. So if you're having problems with the Class 101, then don't worry about it. The 87 it's more difficult than something like a 47, but not that much more. And to me, it just makes it that much more fun to drive.
Yeah, you really do have to. You just got to think about it and plan where you're going to be. Obviously, dropping down them taps and where you need to be, basically. And always plan ahead of your neutral sections.
And then the other thing, I guess, is just
train.
making sure that when you drop the power, if you put it into off, making sure that notch count, the tap count, gets back to 0. It won't take power again until you've got it back down to 0. So just bear that in mind if you're finding it's not applying power anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and definitely, and you've got the training centre areas. You've got, I'm sure there'll be loads of tutorials people were doing. Train Simulator Driver always does fantastic tutorials. So and I'm sure there'll be a manual as well.
Yes.
So yeah, if you ever get stuck, we're always here to all help. So
yeah, definitely there is a manual in production. It's currently being sorted. It's all been put together. It's away with the publisher to get that all put together, so that'll be available as well for you to have a good read. It's quite long. It's big.
Yeah.
It's very in depth.
Brilliant. There we go. So yes, don't forget 26th of November. Get it in your diaries, and we'll be there. All excited and ready for you to have a go, because I think everybody's very excited, as are we. So yeah, it's very good.
It's great to see so.
And Discord have done it again. We need to stop using Discord.
Oh.
I hope that came. I bet you didn't come through, but just thank you to everyone that's come and watched or just put a comment in this evening. Really can. We appreciate it, the whole team.
Yeah,
and the
thanks.
ones that are here.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, no, and
It's been a
thanks.
pleasure to show it off.
Yeah, thanks Thomas and Benedict for coming on the stream.
Yeah,
It was
it's been
great
good to
having
have
you
you
here
on,
as
yeah.
well.
Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, and I think with that, before Discord goes again, we better say goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye
See you
everyone.
later,
Thank
everybody.
you so
Thanks
much.
for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.